Here we are at Lottoland on the first of two games tonight on Friday night footy on Fox League. The Seagulls at home to the Titans. And all the talk about the Titans this week has been focused on the pressure that Garth Brennan is under and the pressure that Ash Taylor is under. Well, some of that pressure can be removed with a win here tonight, but their cause hasn't been helped by the absence of Jai Arrow. We'll wait and see what they can offer, but we know at their best they can certainly play some football.
They can, and they're a little unpredictable. Talking to Desi Hasler before the game, he was concerned and worried at the unpredictability of the Gold Coast Titans. Brian Kelly's had a strong season, probably their most consistent for the Gold Coast Titans on that edge. And the Manly Seagulls, well, they are cruising at the moment. Somewhat the surprise packet, Mick, of the NRL season 2019.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, I don't think I'm being disrespectful in saying a lot of the names in the, particularly in the back line to start the season, as we see one of the greats there, Cliffy Lyons. We didn't know a lot about them, Braith, to be honest, but it's been led through their forward pack, particularly Martin Tapau and Fanua Blake. Jake Trbojevic in that middle third of the field have been absolutely enormous. And on the back of that, it's really brought in the likes of Garrick and Parker to full back now. Brendan Elliott, superb at Cronulla last week. They're playing well, Manly.
Des Hasler has always liked his teams to be flying under the radar. Seagulls' form this season has been impossible to miss, especially when you factor in the players who haven't been available for the majority of the season. Tonight we will take a moment to pause to remember somebody who became very near and dear to the Seagulls in Quentin Ponga.
Balgala Boys High School students Shannon and Andre will now present the captains with their cultural gifts. Our club was last week deeply saddened of the passing of our NRL Wellbeing and Education Manager, Quentin Ponga. Our hearts and prayers have been with his family during this difficult time. Q touched the lives of so many. His passing was a very sad day for our Seagulls family and, of course, for the NRL. Please join with us in a moment's silence. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Game very important to the Manly Seagulls. Quentin Ponga, with his association with the club over the past couple of years. And again, our thoughts and condolences to the family and, of course, friends of the late great rugby league player, a very hard man in Quentin Ponga. The young Kate Cust was a revelation playing in the 5/8 role last week for the Seagulls. What a game he had on debut at Shark Park against Cronulla last week. That was an impressive win by the home side tonight. And he showed immediately that he was up to the task, and alongside Kane Elgey on the other side of the field, he perhaps had his best game as a Seagull since moving from the Gold Coast Titans. He would love to have a big one here tonight.
Stay behind, fellas.
Matt Checken blows time on. It's the first of two tonight on Friday night footy right here on Fox League, and the Seagulls at home to the Titans, looking for their third win of the season, while Manly, what form they're in, having won 6 of their past 8. Work it down that right-hand side of the field to begin this one. They come back to the middle. Martin Tapau hit there in a solid tackle. Kevin Proctor with those unmistakable locks and the cornrows there. Marty Tapau as well. Jake Trbojevic, fantastic game as always, against the Sharks last week, playing as Coruscant goes for a scamper from dummy half, and Brendan Elliott, another of the former Titans in the lineup tonight for Manly. Boy, LG got the kick away. He was hit very hard, though, and a challenge there coming out of the line. It was a solid tackle. Jumped up back to his feet okay. Whitbread came out and really put a shot on him, though. And the Gold Coast have it to work it away. Led last week pretty comfortably against the Bulldogs before being run down. It was 14 points to nil at one stage. They extended that to 16-0, and they took the option of taking the 2 points. Perhaps they came to regret that as the Bulldogs got themselves back into the contest. They go down that left-hand side where Whitbread almost has the ball available for an offload. He'll play it here. Good field position for the Gold Coast as Roberts puts it in the air. It goes across. Easy catch to be made there by Elliott. And the small but I'm sure at times vocal crowd here tonight giving him a round of applause.
And no surprise, Whitbread over there against his old teammate LG. You got Hipgrave over there that's quite an aggressive carry to the football. I think it's signalled their intent. They're going to put a lot of pressure on Kane LG here tonight.
Garrick, Mitch, Kevin, make it, Kevin.
Coruscant from dummy half. It goes to Fanua Blake, who has that left knee heavily strapped here tonight. He's had issues with that, of course. Sort of 2-game suspension as well earlier in the season. And playing game number 7 in round 11 here tonight. Joel Thompson playing it. It goes back to Cade Cust, who also absorbed a fair impact there coming out of the line. Mitch Rain got to him, but the kick from Cust was a good one. The challenge in the tackle as well between Parker and then also Alex Brimson coming out. That was a fair shot. I mean, some of the hits early on here have been tremendous between these two teams.
It was important tonight for Garth Brennan that his side came out and showed plenty of intent, and you can see the pressure already, as Gaz touched on, not only Kane LG defensively, but the kick is under enormous pressure early, and Manly finding it hard to get out of their own end in the opening 2 sets.
Here is Rain out of dummy half and taking it down within 25 of the Manly line. It'll go from Fotuaika across to Tyrone Roberts, who puts it in the air. Some pressure here on Garrick. Tap backwards there by Copley. Still the last. Roberts has it again. It's a second kick in. And this time the grubber finds the hands of Brendan Elliott.
Yeah, and already they're taking pressure off Taylor and his kicking game. And Roberts has put in the first 2 kicks of the game for the Titans into that left-hand corner.
A nice job, as they did, I guess, in the opening 20 minutes last week, the Gold Coast. And they forced a mistake here in the play the ball. George Tafua has put Manly under pressure, and it will be Ash Taylor and Tyrone Roberts who get a chance to put them under enormous pressure here in this next set.
Exactly what they wanted was been rewarded with some pretty good contact through the middle. That has been one of their biggest weaknesses in 2019, their contact and their ability with their line speed to limit the opposition's metres. Don't be surprised if they come out to this right edge to go back to their left edge. You saw that set play where they get a decoy, a man out the back, they skip both, they go across to the half, and then they play on their left edge.
It's Brimson. A little juggle off the pass there from Taylor. He's taken the ground heavily there. Good work by Cade Cust and also Thompson. Proctor. Let's take a settler towards the uprights while Taylor, Brimson and also Roberts have a chat behind the play. They'll go to the left-hand side where Whitbread straightens. He runs towards Elliott. Fullback under pressure there. Got some help from Tapau. Goes out to Roberts over the top. Had it been a better ball, there was a real chance there for Copley. Had a couple of tries last week. Dumped out the back. And then coming back, Keegan Hipgrave, also in the starting side tonight, jumps on top of it. They lost their way a little bit, but there was half a chance on that left edge. Fotuaika will play it here, and they'll have one more from 10 metres out. So play the ball. Rain feeds it across to Taylor. A chance for Anthony Don up against George Tafua. Knocked backwards by Don. Still the last tackle, not touched by Tafua. Taylor goes wide. A chance now. Roberts flick pass. Into intercepted. They're away. Kane Elgee, the former Titan. Brimson coming across the field. We'll get to him, but he links up with Garrick, and they'll play it here deep on the attack, 25 metres out. What a piece of play by Elgee. Cust had to keep it going. Fanua Blake. There was 3 on none on the left-hand side, and Fanua Blake goes back to the middle. He'll earn his team a try, but they leave one begging on this left edge.
Yeah, the attack there from the Titans down the other end of the field, they'd stripped the Manly Seagulls of numbers, but they tried to go for the miracle pass, the cutout pass. They just had to go through the hands. Kane Elgee rushes through with an intercept, gets down the other end of the field. Fanua Blake, throw the pass.
It was Kevin Proctor. He was a mile offside. I'm surprised he didn't go to the bin.
Kate Cust over the top. They'll get there eventually. It's George Tafua who scores for the Seagulls. And in game number 2, looking right at home at this level, Kate Cust throws a terrific pass.
Yeah, young Kate Cust, and he's just his second game. He's done what Tyrone Roberts was hoping to do down the other end of the field. There's the miracle flick pass from Tyrone Roberts. It was never on. And Kane Elgee, like a thief in the night, like a pickpocket, just stole the ball. And as they go downfield, they get themselves a penalty. And then a beautiful pass from the Manly number 6. Have a look at this. Anthony Don caught in field. He came up with thin air, and George Tafua, he scores the first try for the Manly Seagulls.
I was having a good chat to Kate Cust before the game. I said, mate, how did you enjoy your debut? He said, geez, it was everything I expected. It was quick. He said, but I've never been so sore in my life. I think you might have Andrew Fafita and a couple of other Nakora to thank for that. But geez, what a level head under pressure. Summed up the situation brilliantly. Anthony Don, silly decision to come up out of the line, trying to solve it on his own. But geez, he's been impressive, Kate Cust.
He threw a good pass in the run off the back, which was headed out towards the left wing, linked with Fanua Blake, and he only had to keep it going to the left-hand side, but Cust knew exactly where it had to go. I'm sure he, like others, including Des Hasler, was stunned when Fanua Blake went back to the middle. They got the penalty, and there was still something out there on the left-hand side for them, for Tafua to dive in and put first points on the board here at Lotto Land tonight. Garrick. Tough one from the sideline to begin here this evening. It's long enough, and it's stayed just inside the right-hand upright. After being under some pressure at the other end, the big turnaround, and Manly lead this one 6 points to 0.
Yeah, I think it's a great indication of where both sides are at in their season. I mean, the Gold Coast Titans get down that end of the field. They've worked really hard to get themselves in a good field position, but just no composure. They just lack composure and precision, whereas Manly get down the other end of the field. They get one opportunity, just one, and they ice it.
Stay behind, fellas.
Chance to reset here for the Titans to go about their work, try and force an error after getting one earlier in the game from George Tafua. But for the moment, it's Fanua Blake who brings it back out towards the Manly 20, and we go downstairs to the sideline tonight for the first time. Megan Barnard is with us here at Brookvale.
Yeah, it was great. What a great start for Manly here at Lottoland, or should we say Fortress Brookvale. It's certainly gaining that reputation all over again. Just ask the Rabbitohs, the Raiders, Bulldogs and the Titans could well find out the hard way tonight. Working in their favour, of course, a handy recent record against this Manly side, but as we know, a lot has changed since last year. Weather-wise, we couldn't ask for a more perfect autumn evening here on the northern beaches. Just a hint of breeze about, and as for the surface, it's looking in tip-top condition tonight.
As Manly go down the short side, Cust drilling a ball which refused to sit up there for Brimson, and it will find the line and force the Titans to work it away from a scrum. 10 out from their own line. No, just perfect conditions again here tonight. The weather in Sydney in recent times has been incredible as Brimson watches that one. Just continue to worm burner act across the turf here at Brookvale, the much spoken about turf, which looks to be in pretty good condition.
It does, it's in great condition. The grass is a little shorter than it used to be when we used to play here, but Kate Cust, what a debut last week, and then he's backed it up already to start this game. Just look for Coruscant through the middle of the ruck for the Manly Seagulls early. Very dangerous, making easy metres, carving up the middle third of the field with these Titans forwards.
It's a great point you make, Braith, because Matt Chechen, he's got a real good feel for the game, and you don't see a lot of penalties in the games that he referees, and in doing so, you see fatigue. I came here tonight expecting big games from the likes of Rain and Coruscant, and particularly young Fainu, who gets injected at the half-an-hour mark.
Here's Taylor taking it to the line as Rain gets out from dummy half. That was a big dummy, an extravagant dummy to that left-hand side, but nobody falling for it in the middle of the field for the Seagulls. Real mix-up there, it seemed. Rain struggling to find somebody to take a carry, and it was an afterthought that Fodawaker would take the metres available to him. Roberts puts it in the air. Elliott coming forward, can't come up with it. It'll be 6 again here eventually off the back of a knock-on and a scrum as Elliott makes a mistake after being tremendous last week against Cronulla.
Yeah, just a bit of pressure here from Kelly, and that's all it takes for some enthusiasm from your kick chase. Roberts again being dominant with the 5th tackle options, and if he finds a pass there, quite possibly a try. So now again, the Titans in good field position, a great opportunity for them. Just need to be patient, Gaz.
Come together, well, that was the right set play. That was the play I was talking about, where they pretend to go out the back to an extra big forward, but they go across the face to the half. But he needs to play short. They're picking on Kane Elgey. Instead of playing all the way over the top to the winger, play short.
Abby now. Jake.
So much talk in the last 7 days about the form of Ash Taylor. See what he can offer up here in this next set.
Got to inject himself, was.
Goes within a couple of metres. He'll get a chance here as Roberts looks to his right-hand side and then throws the ball over the top to Anthony Don. It's going to be called back, though, for an obstruction play against the Titans.
And that's where I'd like to see the kicking behind. There was plenty of opportunities last week against the Bulldogs where they panicked. They second-guessed themselves, come out to the right, had the double decoy play. Look at Tafua flying out of the line. I thought at times there's going to be enough opportunities tonight because Brendan Elliott, he does get caught out of position, and understandably so. Only his 50th game, not a regular fullback. But again, like Brace said, they've got to be patient.
It's funny, you heard Mitchell Pearce talk about when he was out of confidence at the start of the year and he was finding himself just parking himself on one side of the field and Ponga on the other, that since he went back to playing on the ball, he started to find his own form again. Got to see Ash Taylor play on the ball. He's got to go looking for the contest. At the moment, just parking himself on the right side of the field for the Titans.
Roberts seemed to be a little confused as to what was happening on that play. He was going to throw it to Ash Taylor and then second-guessed himself and ran behind one of the decoys, and the moment he did that, it was all over. They'll get a reprieve here as Manly put it down on that right edge. Roberts plays it and Copley to work it away.
It was the right play, just the wrong execution. They've been picking on the Titans' ruck, and rightfully so. There's no better team in the competition that going through the middle of their opposition than the Manly Seagulls. Just the time he couldn't catch that pass, Elgey, and get it back in time to Elliott.
Now penalty. The ball ripped away by the Seagulls. Cade Cust involved in that little effort. The Titans last week, their possession rate was remarkable. They completed 37 out of 43 sets, so it wasn't their handling that brought them undone against the Bulldogs. And they get a chance for a bit of a do-over right here. Having been at this end in the red zone just a few moments ago. Fodawaker again. Begins the set as he did last time around. Strong carry, and now Wallace heads towards Coruscant, who defends so far above his weights. Long right-hand side here. Roberts again at first receiver. Taylor out the back, puts the kick in. Anthony Don on the gallop. Tried to put it down in the one motion. And at this point in time, I'm not going to say he hasn't done it.
It's going to be close, was.
No try.
No try.
His body language didn't look good, did it?
No, it didn't, Mick. You know, the kick was perfect from Ash Taylor. The execution.
The onside kick chase for the Titans.
And this is his strong point. Now, I think it's an air swing here from Don. He doesn't know whether to catch it or ground it.
Anthony Don has knocked the ball on.
He does
goal. We have
neither.
a decision.
Just a little too deep to catch, but very close to being almost able to trap it as it hits the turf.
You think of the way the Seagulls have defended this year, and they've frustrated a lot of sides. We saw it, Gaz, last week against the Cronulla Sharks. Again, the Dragons at Wynn Stadium, that up and in rushing defence. The Titans have come here with a plan to go over the top. We saw Taylor with a long pass, Roberts, I beg your pardon, in the first set, and now a kick there from Ash Taylor, targeting the edges of the Seagulls.
They need to be resilient, the Gold Coast. And times when they've been close to scoring and had disappointment, especially last week against the Bulldogs. Seemed to clock off at times, and the Dogs were able to come back and, as we know, take that game from them. As to power, big meters here for Manly in this set. Vojovic just outside the 30. Coruscant at dummy half. It goes through the hands of LG to Sirinen. Roberts under pressure there, but did well with the legs tackle. Dylan Walker. Impressive last week, first game back, and now Cuss keeps it going. Thompson spinning in the tackle of Don. Took some real stopping as well. The winger jamming in, getting to his man, and stopping the movement. Cuss grubbering in behind them. Played nicely, though, off the boot by Mitch Rain, and the Titans have hung on.
A great set, though, from Manly. Geez, they rolled upfield very easily. There is some great concerns through the middle of the ruck for the Gold Coast Titans, and now they're backing it up with great line speed.
A good shot there from Thompson.
Show from Jesse Arthur's coming in for a carry. Getting a chance in the centres with the injuries that the Titans have at the moment. Rain from dummy half comes across to Taylor. The kick from outside the 40. Lovely kicking boot that he has. That was drilled, but on the one bounce to Elliott, who brings it back to about 15 metres of the halfway line. 6-0 to the Seagulls. Quarter hour gone here at Brookvale. Don't forget the Knights at home to the Roosters. Be on full time here tonight. What a clash that will be. They're on a roll, the Knights. In the deep end of the pool, though, against the defending champs. That's later on tonight for Newell Blake. Gets a legs tackle there from Rain. Quick play the ball, and now Coruscant goes to LG. Walker on the outside of Arthurs, puts him in the toe for Garrick. It comes back in, and LG trailing through will score a simple try. Good work between Walker and Garrick. And as long as LG's onside, it looks like 4 points for Manly.
Yeah, this is great work from the Seagulls.
H. We got tackle 4. We got a try. Can you confirm that the player just inside was passive on the kick chase? The player that scores was onside.
So it looks like Walker's offside here, or close. I won't call it too soon, but he does look to be very close there from Garrick, kicking it back on the inside.
He doesn't play a
We
part,
have
though.
Dylan Walker offside, so we'll just monitor him through. Everybody else is onside.
So we're keeping an eye on Walker. Let's see if he gets within 10 metres of the plate or makes a play. Well, he has to get... He gets out of the way there. He knows he's offside. He's involved in the play. You see here the Brimson at the back.
Well, he anticipates that Walker's going to touch
right.
the
Dylan
ball
Walker
here,
has impacted play.
That's right.
We have a decision.
which then affects the read of Brimson, doesn't it?
No, it does, Mick. It does.
I love the way Dylan Walker, though, in only his second game back, you see the way he got that football on the out and did up Brian Kelly. It was sensational. He moved as the football was in the air. And that's what got the indecision in the winger to play up and in.
Mick, that was a great set.
Yeah.
They're forward, straight through the middle, just powering. They get a quick play of the ball, and LG just takes off.
Braith, it all starts on the back. They had the run from Tafua through that centre 30, scatters defenders, and then Coruscant, who is lethal out of dummy half, jumping out one side, picking up runners the other, and then pulled the trigger to go to LG at just the right time. And as you would know, Gaz, early ball to the centre, getting him one-on-one with the speed and footwork that Walker's got. That's when Manly are at their best.
A scare for the Titans. And the meters they've conceded through the middle of the field so far is a real concern for Garth Brennan, because while they are missing Jai Arrow, they certainly have plenty of stocks as far as forward depth is concerned. Ryan James, we know, out for the remainder of the season with that ACL tear suffered earlier in 2019. No Arrow tonight, but they've got plenty to call on. They'll need to be good against this Manly forward pack. It's been tremendous so far this season as Taylor comes across to Proctor. Cust was up there to put a bump on him. He went back to the middle. And the Gold Coast have one more in this set. Down the short side. Taylor can't get it through the line. There's a chance there for Coruscant to pick it up. In the end, Brimson gets a hurried kick away. And that wasn't what they were looking for at the back end of the set. Elliott here will have it almost at Manly's 40.
He had one job there, Taylor. It was an ordinary set of 6. They're on the back foot. They couldn't get a quick play of the ball, and Taylor just had to put it over the sideline, give his side a rest, and give the forwards a rest in the middle third of the field, and he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. And look at it now. Manly just streaming down the field.
There's Coruscant, good run to Powell off the back of it. Goes inside the 30, pops the ball out the back. Coruscant tips it backwards. Travojevic has to go back and clean it up without knocking it on. There's some real momentum there. Penua Blake, he can do something about that pretty quickly, though, as it comes out the back to Travojevic. Stopped there by Proctor. And the Seagulls have one more. Midfield, 25 metres out. Cust will chip it towards the corner. Parker wrestling his way to try and get to a contest there with Anthony Don. Wasn't able to do that, and Don makes a pretty good catch. Arthur's to play it. Taylor goes on that left-hand side for Kelly. Nice carry there up against his old club. Made his debut at the beginning of the 2017 season right here at Brookvale Oval. And now Taylor inside his own 40 finds the space. That is a good kick, and Elliott a long march back to pick it up, 5 out from his own line, and this time he'll begin this set from just outside his own 20, or in fact trying to drag him back inside. It's a better kick from Ash Taylor.
Yeah, it was. That was a much better kick. Exactly what they needed.
More importantly, it's a better mindset. It's a much better mindset.
Jared.
Confidence booster after the one that didn't get through the line on the previous set. Garrick playing it for Coruscant. Marty Tapau comes out the back. A chance there for LG. And the Eagles on that right-hand side being aware there was an offload coming from Tapau. There's a real chance for LG to link up on that right edge. Nobody realised, apart from the halfback, the ball would come free. Here he is again. Tipping it over the top. Brimson shading that side of the field will make the catch and bring it back and go straight through them. Only Elliott in front of him trying to fend away. What a tackle, a try saver made by Brandon Elliott. He'll give away a penalty, and the referees are happy that it's not a professional foul.
Is there anything he can't do? Brendan Elliott coming off an unbelievable performance last week against the Cronulla Sharks. AJ Brimson, he is some sort of sight in full flight. Look at him straight through, just brute strength on that occasion. Goes to the outside, as you would with his sort of pace, and Elliott just collars him by the fingertips. I know it's off the back of a break, but this is an area that does worry the Manly Seagulls. They conceded 10 penalties in a row last week to invite Cronulla back into the game.
Three straight to the Gold Coast here as Rain from dummy half goes to Roberts. Ash Taylor on his outside, and for the first time of the game, Taylor will get out to that left-hand side, and here he is at first receiver. First man play for Wallace, who gets cut down. A good tackle, loses the ball as well. Walker's away, nobody in front of him, and they won't catch Garrick. Don is chasing hard, but they'll go the best part of 100 metres. Potentially a 12-point turnaround as the Gold Coast looked to really put some pressure on the Seagulls. Instead, they concede 4 in a moment. It'll be 6 more points.
It was the right play. It was a lovely play. Unfortunately, they just couldn't hold on to the football. And Dylan Walker, I had to have a bit of a laugh last week. I think he was really sucking in the big ones. He was gone. No surprise he passed the football. Great work, Curtis Sirinen, to cover up. Again, they're targeting LG. Look at the footwork from Walker as he picks up the football, bang off the left foot, goes through. He could have gone all the way, but he was hurting too much last week under a lot of fatigue. Gives the ball to young Reuben Garrick. And what a season he's having. Plants the ball down for his 6th try. Already 8 line breaks. Young boy from the Gerringong Lions.
Yeah, just a lack of patience there. It was nice. You touched on it. It was the first time that Ash Taylor had come across to that left-hand side, played nice and direct, brought LG out, made a poor defensive read, isolated Jared Wallace one-on-one, and just a lack of discipline, trying to force an offload, and they have been punished in the worst way possible. What a find he's been, Reuben Garrick.
Yeah, played all his football coming through the St George Illawarra Dragons. system. As I mentioned, Gerringong Lions Junior, Rod Wishart territory. Good kid too.
That's twice now the Titans have been down attacking the line and just showed ill discipline and a lack of patience, and they've been punished on both occasions. Tries resulting in both.
It's a shame because that's where they need to persevere, and that's what they need to persevere with.
Having slotted one from the left touch line, Garrick brings this one back from the right-hand upright, and Manly, just like that, their good form continues here tonight, Megan. They lead this one 12 points to nil. He's got some pace, Reuben Garrick.
Oh, his speed, his power, how good is Reuben Garrick in full flight, and that is the reason he's their leading try scorer so far this season. 6 now in 11 games of first grade for the 21-year-old Gerringong Lions Junior, as you mentioned, Gaz, who, as we know, took a leap of faith in the off-season by making the move to Brookvale. Boy, hasn't it paid off, rewarded with a new 2-year deal just a couple of weeks ago.
Time you run.
It's a team of spare parts and in some ways no names, but they are becoming well-known names. But Manly's form, as we said, 6 of 8. They won in their last 8 games. On track at the moment to continue the good form here early on against the Titans. 17 remaining in this opening half. A dozen to the good. The Seagulls at home. Coruscant. Off the back of the Tapau play the ball. Will go to Joel Thompson, who's proudly tonight wearing this Indigenous jersey, emblazoned with the image of the Cliffy Lions on the front of it. What a perfect tribute that is. I can't think of a better way that Manly could pay their respects to Cliffy and also the Indigenous community by having Cliff on the front, and the jersey itself tells a story. We'll see if we can find a moment to tell you more about it and get a shot of it as the game goes on. But he's a proud man tonight, Cliffy, with the family here as well.
Marty, run 10.
Kick down to Anthony Don. Just inside the 30. That's Taylor back there, and here they are again, I guess. Shell-shocked once more. The Titans, they've had their moments. Don himself in close to scoring, and that kick from Taylor.
Keep going.
Instead, they trail by 12. They need to keep Manly in touch here between now and the break. Shannon Boyd is out there. Well tackled, though, by Jake Travojevic downstairs. Sirinen over the top, and now hands out the back.
Great read.
Taylor to Brimson. Picked off, though, by Brad Parker, who had eyes only for the fullback and got him squarely in the chest. As Taylor wraps it to the back, puts a kick down to the corner. Elliott will bring it back, and they'll force him to work it away from inside the 10.
Yeah, there's that defensive system that I spoke about previously where they jam on the edges. Brad Parker, he's got it right 9 out of 10 times to start this season. Aggressive and a terrific route there, shutting down that right-hand attack from the Gold Coast Titans.
And the key is he doesn't preempt it. You saw with Anthony Don when they scored the try to Fua. He preempted it and come flying out of the line. Parker waits till the ball's passed. As it's passed, then he makes the decision.
Powell works it forward here and pops the ball out the back again to Elliott. Last week it was the Bulldogs and Marcelo Montoya on the left-hand side who had great success jamming in and shutting down Taylor and company on the right edge for the Titans. Tonight, Parker picking up from where Montoya and company left off. It's cast, tackled in the motion of kicking there. The contact was all fine. He might have been injured by it. It seemed to be a late choice to make the kick, or he just took too much time, and as a result, he wore a fair shot there for his trouble. Copley will play it. Rain looking from dummy half for a forward to put their hand up. You see, coming out of the line, Wallace got to him in plenty of time, and he got maybe winded, feeling that shoulder or the chest perhaps as well, Cade Cust. He showed last week he's plenty tough enough.
Peachy's on the field.
Out there in the middle. Played last week off the bench for Garth Brennan. Was a lock forward. Roaming, trying to spark them. As he was so good at doing in his time at Penrith, and Garrick off the catch. It's left Brian Kelly in the background for the moment, who's on his haunches. Doesn't look to be all that well. Walker coming in for a carry.
Yeah, Kelly was involved in the kick chase, and you can see there that he's still struggling to get back into his position. He was escorted off the ball, but there was no decision there from the referee. They thought it was fine.
Cuss goes to the line. A little inside ball for Morgan Boyle, who is out there now. Another of the former Titans playing against his old club tonight as Cust goes to the line. He had Thompson riding shotgun, but Thompson couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, great idea, but the execution wasn't there. Cust down the short side. A nice little play the ball from Coruscant, and when he gets the opportunity, he takes it. Now, you can see here Kelly not looking too good. Hopefully he's okay. He's trying to walk it off. The trainer's asking him a few questions, but hopefully he can stay out there. He has had a good season. I think he's been one of their best, Kelly, for the Titans, and most consistent. Here it is. Here, see, he gets run off the ball and escorted. Now, he's come up with a lower leg injury off the back of it. Not sure how serious it is.
Defensively was unbelievable last week. Some big shots.
There's Marty Zapau, who came from the field for Morgan Boyle, and that change by Des Hasler. Hipgrave to play it. Back tonight after struggling with back and hamstring issues. Keegan Hipgrave can be a real spark plug for the Titans.
They need some big runs here. They need a quick play the ball. They need Fodawaker to get in there, Peachy. They need some momentum and just play at the advantage line. They're going to the edges too early.
Now Taylor at the line with Proctor going with him. Wrapped up once more by Brad Parker, who's been strong defensively on this left edge. Rain down the short side, puts a kick in. It'll go touch and goal and gives Manly 7 tackles from their own 20.
Yeah, not the right play there from Mitch Rain. You're right, Braith. They're just, at the moment, trying to find cheap points, trying to mosey their way around this Manly defensive line, and a rush play there, rush of blood there from Mitch Rain. Not a lot of opportunity down the short side, and the execution was poor, and now we see a penalty out of their own end for the Seagulls, a relieving one. Things not going right at the moment for the Gold Coast Titans.
There's been so much talk about Ash Taylor and the money he's on and the pressure he's under, and he has to stand up and deliver for the Titans. But when you're at first receiver and you can't get the ball in your hands as the big man on campus, and the dummy half goes down the short side and kicks it touch and goal, it's hard to start when it's like that. Here is Manly, a forward pass. They're away and running, and LG thought he might have been close to grabbing another try, but this time it's called back for a forward pass.
Yeah, the referee was right on the spot here. Checken was right on the spot. Dylan Walker, he gets through the line, but because he's facing out here, watch this, great run, footwork, power, speed, straight through Peachy. That's not good enough. Because he's facing to the outside, it's hard to throw the pass backwards. He knows that he can't get his shoulders around to throw the pass back to Kane Elgee. The fans are booing, but it went forward.
Tyrone Peachy breathes a sigh of relief. That was an awful missed tackle straight through the centre of the Gold Coast Titans defensive line. Should have been 6 points. Dylan Walker, and he brought some energy back into this Manly side.
He certainly has been. He just had to come off his left foot somehow and just square up just a little bit so he could throw the pass backwards, because he was running overs so fast he couldn't get it back.
Cade up, Cade.
Close thing there for the Titans. Stays 12 points to nil as Rain goes across, and Waker with the carry. Been their best as far as the forward pack is concerned in this opening half. Picked up almost 100 metres now in the opening 30 minutes. Arthur's play. Here is Peachy. Tipping it on for Shannon Boyd. Coming off the bench and playing it here just back in Manly territory. Roberts down that left-hand side. Again, Taylor can't get the ball in his hands on the last play as Elliott comes back to the middle where Garrick will stop there, 10 out from his own line, and we'll see what sort of metres Manly can make in this set here, and whether the Titans can try and ambush them, get up early and put some real pressure on them inside their own 20.
Fainu now takes the field. Coruscant comes off. Look at him to speed up the match even more.
Morgan Boyle looked up and saw Keegan Hipgrave jamming in off that left-hand side, looking to make an impact and really get something going for the Gold Coast. Parker plays it quickly, though. Good hands by Fainu. I don't know how he hung on to that. Came at him like a missile. Doing fine out the back of the play, the ball. He did enormously well. LG under big pressure there from Hipgrave. Not a deep one. Don coming across, makes a pretty good catch in the end. Had to reach out for it and then gets taken high. Falling into the tackle there of
Up on side, thanks, Keegan.
Sirinen, who's been penalised by the referee, and the Gold Coast will pick up some easy metres.
Yeah, good opportunity here for the Titans, and we talk about Ash Taylor, and I'll go back to him again now. Yeah, there it is from Sirinen. Clumsy attempt. Now, Ash Taylor, he's had one run for 8 metres in this first half. Now, if ever I was out of form and I had advice from the likes of Joey Johns or Brad Fittler, the first thing they'd say to me is think run first and pass second. Now, he's got to get in there and take the line on. Often when you do that, the opportunities present themselves off the back of that. You very rarely see him run throughout the 2019 season. He's got to get dirty.
There is a dummy half. It goes to Boyd. The forward to take a carry there to get something happening out the back. Rain flat for Taylor. Short ball, Peachy. Punch through the hole there between Travojevic and also Sirinen. Rain comes back towards the uprights. Still going until running in around the legs. It was Fainu who chops him down. Boyd, easy target there. Thompson coming up. Put him under pressure. Wrapped him up pretty easily. Last tackle. Here's Taylor. Goes to Roberts, who puts a kick in. Wants this one to stay in. It'll go dead again. And the second consecutive kick from Tyrone Roberts, which gives them 7 tackles. And he's been injured to add a little bit of injury to the insult.
Yeah, not good signs there for Tyrone Roberts. They're an absolute rabble at the moment, the Gold Coast Titans. Ash Taylor, you touched on him, Braith, just parking himself on the right-hand side. He's been non-existent in this first half.
He doesn't want the ball, Mick. I've been watching him closely, and on that set of 6, he was directing it to go every other way except for getting the ball in his own hands. And that's why Tyrone Roberts has been coming up with all the fifth tackle options.
Now a turnover by the Seagulls. We watched the replay there of the kick by Roberts, who is still out there limping on that left-hand side. So they get a do-over here with a full set from just outside the Seagulls 30. Arthurs from dummy half. It goes to Taylor. Boyd takes it in. And it's a forward again. Ash Taylor on the next carry. Peachy on the right-hand side. It goes to Roberts instead. Cartwright is out there. Good ball to Kelly, who stays alive and gives it off to Dale Copley. And they've found a way in. Off a ball from Roberts to Cartwright. And they kept it alive. And Copley continues his try-scoring form in recent weeks.
It was a simple one-on-one miss. Dylan Walker. Brian Kelly just shrugged him off with brute strength. Still nice and direct. Bryce Cartwright pretends to play out the back, plays short. Simple one-on-one miss. It was funny, Tyrone Peachy actually came onto that left edge. Bryce Cartwright moved into the middle. They've changed. Hipgrave, I think they wanted some aggression, some line speed to start the match.
He can't fault LG's effort there, but he's dragging himself out of the defensive line, isolating his outside men. That time Dylan Walker was isolated by Brian Kelly. Tackle should have been made, but if LG stays in the line, then I think he gets an opportunity there to help Brian Kelly. But you guys have already touched on Kelly. He has been one of their best this year. He's got lovely footwork. He's got great strength. And that's a nice hit back and a timely one for the Titans.
He was good last week, Dale Copley, to grab a double against the Bulldogs. 52 tries now in the NRL, having brought up number 50 last week with his first at Seabus Super Stadium in that game. The kick from out wide from Taylor is a good one. And for times, as poor as they've been, especially with their last play options inside the red zone, they trail here by just 6 points. Manly 12 against the Gold Coast 6. And throughout in our NRL Indigenous round, we'd like to take the chance to recognise the NRL School to Work program. It utilises rugby league to support and encourage young Indigenous Australians to stay at school, secure a job and be a legend for themselves, their families and their communities. To find out more, visit nrl.com/community. 2 tries to 1. A little quiet here at old Brookvale as Copley scored in the corner. See if they can keep the roll going now before half-time. Maybe level this up. before the break. As Fodawaker, the ball comes free. Helped out there by Fainu, and that will certainly help their cause.
So here we go. Here we go. The Gold Coast Titans, they've remained patient and they've got themselves back into the match, so we've got to give them credit for that. They've had a couple of opportunities that have been turned on its head, really. Two length of the field runaways for the Manly Seagulls for 2 tries. Now, another opportunity here to level the scores up.
Mitch Rain off the back of the Proctor run. Now flat to Peachy in the middle. Roberts comes out to Brimson. Walker jamming in, does well there. Some help from LG. Come back to the middle. Peachy certainly added something through the middle here with his footwork and his speed going to the line. Rain goes back to the left-hand side. Roberts shaking off that knock to the leg he had only 3 or 4 minutes ago. Looks to be pretty free in his movement now. Comes to Peachy, the first receiver. Goes to Fodawaker with Ash Taylor still floating out the back. Last tackle here on this right-hand side. We'll get a chance now in the last play.
Oh my God.
Simple pass there to Kevin Proctor. He was easily wrapped up.
Wow.
That wasn't the set. It certainly wasn't the ending they were hoping for.
Deja vu. I mean, last play of the game last week. I mean, you know, Ash Taylor, the dominant half in this side, he didn't even look like he wanted the ball that set of 6. In good field position, he should be licking his lips. Give me the ball. I want to create something. Chief playmaker.
Manly survived that little mistake of the penalty by Marcy Fainu, who's a dummy half here. The back of the park to play the ball. Thompson take it just beyond the 20. Slow play the ball. Pocket referee jumping in. The Titans off Parker. Thinking about a little counter-attack from their own end here. Custer's thinking about a 40-20 attempt. A long way back there, down the middle of the park, as it turns out. Not the best strike you've ever seen, and what they've done is give the Titans a chance here to begin this set at the halfway line. Curious kick there early in the tackle count as well before the last tackle. Surprised the Titans, a bit of a shank from the second game rookie.
They're inviting the Titans into the contest, aren't they, the Seagulls? At the moment, all the territory with the Gold Coast.
Peachy, first receiver, goes to that left-hand side. They'll set themselves again. Once more, it's Roberts, the dominant half at the moment, kicking in the backfield. Brimson was there, reaching out, and he thinks that he might have got it down. This one was a lovely kick by Tyrone Roberts, had a bit of backspin, and it sat down, and Matt Jenkins thinks that Brimson's won the race.
It's really smart play because Brendan Elliott, the previous set when Ash Taylor played short instead of kicking, he gets caught as the first defender next to the ruck. He gets caught out of position. You can see it's actually Corey Waddell that does his best to get there. LG as well.
Simultaneous. And that goes with the attacking side. If he gets this down, Taylor, Brimson.
I say try.
Yeah,
I say try. Brimson, he gets the ball just underneath the hand.
Yep, that's a
I
try.
think it's a try.
More importantly, it was great vision.
Was great vision.
I mentioned Brendan Elliott before the game. As brilliant as he's been, he does get caught out of position because of the inexperience. Yeah,
AJ Brimson has grounded the ball in the end goal. We have a decision.
Confirmation, no question about it there. That last angle showing that he won the race, or at worst it was simultaneous. And what speed he showed off the kick from Robertson. That was a tremendous little chip in behind, wasn't it?
You touched on it, Gaz. It was great vision, wasn't it? I mean, often we see the fullbacks present themselves in the defensive line, and Tyrone Roberts, who has been the chief playmaker, he has dominated the ball in all the key areas in this first half. Manly have gifted them field position with some poor errors and some poor kicks in this first half. And this won't make Des Hasler happy at all, but Garth Brennan cheering in the box says he's little number one and he's 5'8" combined. And they give themselves an opportunity now on the stroke of half-time to go in all level. And Tyrone Roberts really standing up in the absence of Ash Taylor.
Yes.
Here is the man in question. 15 in from that left hand. First strike was a beauty. This one, not so good. It'll stay at 12 points to 10. A pretty easy miss from Ash Taylor, and perhaps he is a bit rattled at the moment.
Yeah, he's down in confidence, there's no doubt about that, but it's good to see Tyrone Roberts take responsibility. Now, AJ Brimson, he's one of those players in a side that just magic happens around him. He creates it, creates his own luck. He's so fast, he's got a bit of spark, he's got X factor. He's one of those players that can come up with something out of nothing, and he's a breath of fresh air for the Gold Coast Titans. They're in the game here, boys.
Time you run.
We've been a little bit negative about the Titans, but all of a sudden it's 12-10.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, speak. Yeah, good point, guys. Good point.
Under the bus goes Mr. Anasta.
Thank you.
I wouldn't do that.
Deservedly so. Here's Boyd playing it, rained out from dummy half. There's a siren sound still showing it. Cliffy lines himself. That'll be the break. We've got a game here in the first of two tonight on Friday Night Footy on Fox League. And it's the home side on top. Manly lead the Titans 12 points to 10.
Yeah, the Seagulls got out to a bit of a slow start. It was a flyer from the Gold Coast Titans, but they didn't capitalise off the back of it until the end of that half. I think the score does reflect the game at the moment. Dylan Walker's come up with some big plays for the Seagulls, and Cust has had a great debut, as we have spoken about last week, and has had a good start to this game as well.
Looking for win number 7 on the season. The Sea Eagles. Gold Coast, a rocky old road so far in 2019. Al Meninga about to conduct a review of everything to do with their football department. Now heavily involved with the Titans as far as their footy department is concerned, of the departure of the football manager Phil Moss, who's gone to the Sharks. And we're back underway. Brookvale tonight. It'll be the Titans who scored 2 tries in the final 6 minutes of that opening half to get themselves into the game. And first use of it here from just inside their own 20 as Boyd takes a carry. Chopped down there by Morgan Boyle. Comes back to the middle. What a wake it was. It was fantastic. The leader as far as metres were concerned for the Gold Coast in that opening half. Rain to this left-hand side. Peachy back on the inside there. Bryce Cartwright coming off the bench tonight for Garth Brennan. Keegan Hipgrave started on that left-hand side. He's back on the bench for the moment as Roberts had a leg injury at the back end of the first half, but shook it off. Supplied the kick for the try by Brimson. Good kick there in general play. And George Tafua will be stopped at his own 20. Elliott. Just a hand off for Garrick. Take the metres available. Bring it up towards the 30. 2 tries apiece in that opening 40. First touch for Manly in this second half. And there is Dylan Walker. Good carry there, dragging Boyd and others with him. LG, pass goes to ground and then diving back on top of it. Garrick had to throw himself on it. Roberts was right there with him. The waist, and they'll have a kick here on the next. Around about the halfway line as Faunu from dummy half almost lost it. LG to the line, just off the outside of the boot. Bananas one down to Brimson. A little bit of dew forming on the surface here today after just a glorious day again in Sydney. Temperature in the mid-20s. Copley. They scored their first try, will play it. Pete.
Nice run.
Coming in, Anthony Don. Trademark carry there to help out the forwards. Off the back of that, loses the ball. Was it headed out there by Curtis Sirenen? The referees certainly think so. It wasn't a traditional strip. I think he used the melon to get rid of the Steeden.
Yeah, it was his head that knocked the ball out. They're getting some quick play the balls here, the Titans. A bit of momentum. A lot different to the first half, this start to the second.
Up now, Joel.
So the fondness for the left-hand side in attack in that first 40 here is Taylor at first receiver, grubbering in behind or trying to. Not played at by Manly. Luckily, Roberts throws himself on it. The grubber intended for Peachy. Didn't look like getting through the line after a disappointing opening 40 from the underperforming halfback. Here is Rain at the line. Proctor trying to hit and spin there, but good work by Cust.
Jeez, he's a good defender. Young Cust in only his second game.
Stayed there in the tackle. Got those arms around Proctor and stopping cold. Taylor takes them on, loses the ball, nothing going for the number 7 at the moment. And here's Elliott weaving in traffic, showing some speed, tracked down by Bremson, but he picks up 50 metres. On the counter-attack, goes to Parker, comes back towards the middle of the field. He loses it. Was it helped out? They're going to say it was.
He tried the one-on-one strip there, Peachy.
6 more tackles coming up. No knock-on against Manly. Helped out by Peachy. And a full set here. In pretty good field position. Short ball from Waddell for Siren. They're set. Back on that left-hand side. Travojevic at the line. Cast. Good ball. Almost away was Thompson. Stopped by Proctor. Edge back rower on edge back rower. Fainu cast back on the inside. Just about had Dylan Walker away, who'd come across to the left-hand side. It was a lovely ball from the rookie.
Yeah, they look good, the Seagulls, when they're out attacking with those inside-outside plays through the centre third of the ruck, around the markers. And this time it was Dylan Walker. Really nice play. This was Ash Taylor. We've been asking for him to run the ball. He did just that. Poor ball security there, and Elliott capitalised, racing 50 metres downfield, turned defence into attack. And then on the back of a quick play the ball, it was Fainu out of dummy half to Cust back inside. Just can't hang on to it there. Great desperation from Jesse Arthurs, and saved a certain 4-pointer.
Nearly identical to the first half again. You know, on the try line of the Manly Seagulls, they nearly come up with a try. Well, I mean, I like the fact that Ash Taylor took the line on. I know he come up with an error, and that just shows how down in confidence that he is. But I still like the fact that he ran it.
At the moment, it's Cartwright. Bounces back to his feet. He'll earn his side a penalty. Algie under pressure there. Knocks the ball out as Cartwright bounced back to his feet.
And again, that's the area they need to get better at, the Manly Seagulls. They've already conceded 7 penalties. They averaged that a game in 2019. But I'll say it again, 10 in a row they conceded last week and invited the Cronulla Sharks back into the game. Kane Elgey, he needs some help from Sirenan just to get in those tackles and slow it down.
There's a chance to take the lead for the Gold Coasters. Boyd met very quickly there coming out of the line with Dell. Got to him in a hurry. He barely picked up 3 or 4 metres. Taylor, Proctor flat there with him. Hits the line, pops the ball out the back, and Rain for Peachy. They'll keep it going for Stockwell, who's out there now early in this second half. Midway through the sets. Goes to Roberts on the left-hand side, puts a grubber in. Chasing Copley was there. Garrick wins the race and will take it out of play. And they've got themselves a penalty for an escort knocking down one of the Titans' chasers.
The discipline really hurting the Manly Seagulls to start this second half. And again, this time, Dylan Walker involved, just makes a check there on Brian Kelly trying to get through the opposition defensive line.
Either way, they were going to get the ball back. They'll pick up some free metres here and tap it from the 10. Stockwell. Right in front of the uprights. Trailing by 2 points. Rain hits the deck there as he was shoved from the marker. Rain looking at the back, wanting instructions. Finds Taylor. He goes to Roberts. They came up quickly. Tyrone Roberts dives in. And the Titans have the lead if this gets the green light. They do want to check it.
Mate. We have try. Confirm it was a defensive decision. Thanks, mate.
That's one of their favourite set plays, the variation. Instead of the long pass off the 9, wide pass, Taylor to Roberts. But I think it might be an obstruction. Joel Thompson taken out. Just Kelly, watch him go into the line.
Kelly, but he gets on the inside
Tyrone
shoulder here
Roberts
as
catches
Sirenin.
the ball on the outside, and it's a defensive decision.
It's a defensive decision.
So it's playing to the stage.
Yeah, this is a try, and I like this decision because Kelly gets back on the inside shoulder of Sirenin. Sirenin takes the hit and just hits the deck, thinking that he may get an obstruction call. And I truly believe this is the right decision. A good call from the bunker. The right pass and dummy and go from Tyrone Roberts. And again, just a poor read there in defence from Sirenin and the outside men on the edge of the ruck there for the Manly Seagulls.
They've kind of gone that way. At the start of the season, it was all if you basically got touched and fell, it was an automatic penalty. Now it's, and rightfully so, common sense is coming into it because they weren't going to stop that. But again, just from a fan's point of view, you just get that inconsistency. And when it goes against your team, you start to think, well, where are we going?
But he gets on the inside shoulder there.
No, it's the right decision, Bear. What I'm saying is in the first 8 rounds in particular, it went the other way.
Yeah, they persisted. Attacking the left-hand side, they've looked dangerous, particularly in the first half, whether it was Brimson or Roberts going getting the left edge. This time, Taylor came across and combined beautifully and executed the set piece to perfection and give themselves an opportunity to be in front for the first time this evening.
Trying to brand it back. It'll stay outside that right-hand post. Remains at 14 points to 12. But exactly what Garth Brennan, I'm sure, was hoping for, Megan, as they came back out for the second half.
Yeah, he certainly was. He was pleased with his side's effort at the back end of that first half. He said, boys, we're in this. Stay mentally strong, stay focused. And Mel Meninga was in there too. He gave me the thumbs up as he walked out of the sheds. Maybe he knew something we didn't. As for Des, furious as you'd expect with the way that first half finished. He said, boys, pick up the energy and the intensity. We cannot afford to be flat in this second half.
And their right edge defence was all at sea. Players jamming in there. LG going into the decoys. Garrick racing off his wing 1,000 miles an hour. Coming up empty, and it was a pretty easy run to beat Dylan Walker for Kane LG. Scores his first try against Manly since 2012. Stockwell in that replay there, met by Jake Trebojevic.
Puts his body on the line. Jake, every time.
So at the 40 as Rain plays it. Boyd again coming out quickly. Trebojevic was right there along with Boyle to shut him down. Roberts gets the kick in. Fainu came out to meet him. Contact is okay. And then Brendan Elliott, who showed great speed in that previous run from his own line where he went 50 metres. They bring it back here, a change as Boyle comes back to the bench. A ball on the ground and a penalty to Manly.
Well, they needed this, the Seagulls. They've only had 3 tackles inside the Titans' 20-metre zone all night, albeit they've come up with 2 long-range tries. This time, Kevin Proctor caught in the ruck. Young Cuss did a great job to milk it for everything it was worth, and a free penalty out of their end now. And the Seagulls just need some patience. It hasn't been a great start to the second half. There's the run of penalties. Only 2 for the whole evening. They need to stay down this end of the field. They need to build some pressure.
The home fans on their voice for the first time since the resumption is for Newell Blake. Take it down just outside the 30. LG with his hands extravagantly in the air on the right-hand side. It goes to Cust instead down that left edge. A little bit of weaving in traffic. Got them inside the red zone. Trebojevic comes out the back. Here is LG firing a Harbour bridge pass to put Garrick under pressure. He had Copley in his face. Did well to keep it alive as Walker circled back towards the middle. The ball could have gone anywhere. LG on the inside here. Stepping, Waddell in traffic. Did well. Comes back to Newell Blake. Stays alive. Stockwell's trying to stop his progress. They've got one more from close range. Fainu goes to LG. Kick put in. Wrapped up there by Tyrone Roberts. And the Titans have done well to hang on.
Defending well. The Titans, and a good read there from Tyrone Roberts. Get in behind and make a clean catch and get them out of trouble. Now Kelly with a great run. You can see Roberts down. He picks it up. Great hands.
The team not noted for their defence, ranked 15th coming into this game, giving up 24 points a game. Pretty solid stand there on their own line. A little bit of resilience in the Gold Coast. They couldn't find some in the second half when they needed it against the Bulldogs. They've got here at Brookvale. This is their third trip here in the last 7 seasons. As it turns out, big gap between appearances between 2012 and last year at this venue for the Titans. And they're back in front. Parker to work it away. Marcus around the shoulders. Stockwell underneath. So was Rain involved in the tackle. Garrick coming in looking for a run. Pretty well handled though by Jared Wallace, who is back out there along with Bryce Cartwright. Travojevic, Siren. Back through the middle. Fairly conservative set. Still go. Curtis Sirenin. Couple of plays remaining in this 6. It goes to the left-hand side. Cast a short ball there. Parker under huge pressure. And they've turned it over and again. And the Gold Coast Titans out the easy way.
And there's probably no point to this from the Manly Seagulls. They had so much success just through the middle bit in behind the ruck of the Gold Coast Titans. Now they're trying to target the edges. It's fine once you get a bit further in. But you've got to suck them in through the middle first. It's like a vacuum. You will drag all the defenders from the Gold Coast Titans in to help out their mates, particularly the tied forwards. That'll open up the spaces on the edges. But when you're not a threat through the middle, the spaces out wide are quite good and you can make good decisions.
27 minutes remaining. And after full time, it's the Knights at home at McDonald Jones Stadium to take on the Roosters. What a game that is. A big test for the Knights up against the benchmark team in the NRL. Themselves coming off a loss last week to the Broncos. Fascinating to see how the Roosters bounce back from that last week. Taylor goes wide. Arthurs got drilled by George Tafua. Good catch by Arthurs. He got a rib check from Georgie.
He's good at them, George. He's one of the best.
He is.
Arnie Tapau about to come back out and test a few ribs out in the middle of the field in a moment. Reaching backwards with a pinky toe was Brendan Elliott. Had a pretty good catch in the end. Could have easily put that one down in an effort to try and...
He's like Manu Vatuvei, Georgie Tafua. Even if you caught that early and you're going to pass and you've got 2-on-1 and he knows you're going to score, geez, he makes your ribs sore.
Yeah, the injection now of Martin Tapau. So Fanua Blake and Tapau back into the contest, and so too Jake Trebojevic still there. This is the power game that Manly need to play. They need to come through the front door of the Titans, straight through their ruck, and start and get Fainu out of dummy half.
Fanua Blake, listen to the Ennis instructions. Good carry, and now Cust with the ball, loses it out the back in the tackle. Travojevic under pressure.
It's the last tackle.
And that will be the changeover.
Yeah, it's a good substitution, Mick. And good experience from Desi Hasler to bring him on at this time, and they've done a good job there to start that set of 6 with their 5th tackle option. They just couldn't get a kick away there.
It was Brendan Elliott. He got too excited. He jumped in and ran the ball from dummy half. He didn't realise it was 5th play.
Their end of sets have been poor tonight, the Seagulls. Really poor.
Here they are on the attack. Leading by 2. Cartwright skipping back to the middle. Player just outside the 20s. Rain from dummy half. Finds Taylor. There's Proctor. Testing out Cust and also Parker. Taylor once more. Showing it, giving it to Roberts. On the charge, good run by Kelly. And some nice hard lines here tonight. Quick ball comes back from Cartwright. Wallace keeps an offload going. Kelly once again, 2-on-2. Siren with the tackle, play on, tipped up, and Copley dives in.
All good, mate.
He's got another one and grabs his second double in 2 weeks. What play by the Titans on this left-hand side.
Yeah, great work here for the Titans, and the injection of Bryce Cartwright. He's been very good off the bench for the Titans so far this evening. Him and Peachy, since they've come on, added another dimension to their game. Now, Kelly has been superb on this left-hand edge. He goes in, left foot step. Sirenin can handle him. The offload out the back. Look at those quick hands. Beautiful hands from Bryce Cartwright to Copley, who gets in the left-hand corner. Second phase play, playing what you see in front of you. And Desi Hasler, at the start of the game, he said to me, the unpredictability of the Gold Coast Titans he was worried about, and this is why.
It's deja vu for the Titans fans. This happened last week, a Wallace offload. Came back through the middle, down that short side, came up with the offload, created the numbers. It was lovely hands from Cartwright, but off the back of Wallace' second phase play.
Yeah, they've looked good down that left-hand side. And you're right, when I saw the bench tonight, Garth Brennan putting Tyrone Peachy back there early in the week, so too the big recruits, Shannon Boyd, Cartwright, back to the interchange bench. It was important they made a difference, and they've done just that. Boyd's run for 120-odd metres, and Peachy and Cartwright have really added a point of difference, and that unpredictability that you spoke about, Braith, has resulted in points for the Titans.
Big kick here for Taylor. The first half.
Great kick.
This one, though, bends back and importantly gives them an 8-point buffer at 20 points to 12. Dale Copley on a try-scoring tear at the moment in the NRL.
Yeah, they could really regret this at the end of the game. Fanua Blake, beautiful run, and then out of dummy half, as Gaz mentioned, Brendan Elliott didn't know it was the last tackle. Cuss gets the ball, they throw it out the back, they couldn't get a kick away. And in the end, it has proved very costly. Off the back of that, the Titans strike. Just shows those moments, those little moments, those poor decisions that you can make throughout a game and how costly they can be.
I mentioned Des talking about the Gold Coast Titans throughout the week and again before the game. The way he was rapping them, you'd swear that Manly were playing the 93 Broncos here tonight. He was certainly talking the Titans up, trying to drum into his team not to be complacent. But here they are all the same as they give away a penalty. The high contact on AJ Brimson, trailing by 8 points midway through this second half, and a real cuffing effort there from Joel Thompson.
And again, it's penalties. That's their 9th they've given away in the game. You just feel as if Manly get a big chunk of possession, they're going to tear the Titans' middle apart.
Yeah, I think that's experience there from Joel Thompson. He's recognised Manly haven't brought the same energy and intent tonight, and he's trying to lift his side. He got it wrong there, but they need someone to stand up, someone to set the tone through the middle. That's where they've been so good in 2019. They haven't had that intent tonight. They've underestimated the Titans.
They led 12 points to 0. It's been one-way traffic from that point on. Role reversal from last week for the Gold Coast, who led comfortably against the Bulldogs. Watch Canterbury come back and roll in try after try. Wallace playing it here. Good meters, and Roberts puts it in the air. Some pressure on Brendan Elliott. Peachy coming through, knocks it backwards. Play on for the moment, and that will be the changeover. Not touched by Elliott in that contest. Put one down earlier in the game. It has been good from that point on. Peachy coming through. Got the only touch.
21 minutes remaining. Plenty of time for the Seagulls. Might be time to see Appy Coruscant but come back in to the fray, cause some damage. Oh, the Titans have got the ball in that last tackle.
Got no idea what just happened in the last 30 seconds. We'll come back to that in a moment. Here's a chance for Don out wide, gets wrapped up.
We've got 6 to go because it was touched in the air. Held up, 6 to go. We've got a handover out there.
6 to go.
They can't take a trick at the moment, Manly. Those last couple of calls. What was happening out here on the right-hand side? If it was the Gold Coast ball, why did we have that delay that we had? And there's the touch by Tafua. No doubt about that. Good grab by Anthony Don, who's a specialist scoring in those situations. Well contained, though, the desperate defence of the Seagulls on that left-hand side, but the Titans with a full set once again from close range. This would make it tough for Manly if they were to score here. Peachy to play it. Oh, he played it squarely there. Might have got away with one. Stockwell. Right above the line. Stopped there by Elliott and also Fainu. Slow play the ball. Rain drops it back to Taylor. Goes over the top. Copley! What hands! Along the edge of the cliff. He reeled it in and has a hat trick. What a catch.
What a pass. What a try. That was unbelievable. The pass here, it doesn't get any better. Someone isn't happy about it.
I thought it was 5, it was corrected. It was as a tackle, so we had tackle 4.
Yeah, but you know what happened? You fucked our defensive line up.
Hang on. Well, no, what I did was I gave you plenty of time. I gave you plenty of time to get your defensive line right, mate.
So there was a miscommunication as to the tackle count because the referees off that scramble earlier on, about a minute ago, as far as game time is concerned, signal changeover, quite clearly said that's the changeover, and then Jake Trbojevic coming out saying our defensive line wasn't set. Well, they defended the bomb on the right edge but considered 6 more tackles in the process.
That's a great pass.
I'm just marveling at this pass.
That is a brilliant pass in a flash. He just saw that right edge again. It caught themselves out of position, and Taylor just fired a bullet. That was superb. That was beautiful.
And that's what he's capable of. This is what he's capable of. What a brilliant pass that is. Can he back it up with the 2 points? He sure can. He's back.
Ash Taylor, a moment of magic here at Brookvale tonight. What a ball and what a catch by Dale Copley, who in running was 100 to 1 to get to this, let alone make the grab and stay inside the chalk.
It was a lovely pass too from Mitch Rain. He got a lot of width on it. Ash Taylor, he knew where he was going straight from the start. He saw Ruben Garrick coming flying up and in. He knew they were short as well, and instead of the kick, lovely pass, timed it to perfection. Copley did well too.
The equal most points conceded by Manly so far this season. They conceded 26 to the Roosters and the Broncos. Well, the Gold Coast find some scoring here tonight, and Dale Copley notches up the first hat-trick of his career. That's a memorable one as well, given the way he scored the third of them.
Hold Jack, hold on.
Peachy has been terrific, coming off the bench and playing in that middle. Gives away some size and some weight to most of the behemoths he's out there against when he plays that role. He's out very nicely here tonight. Rain from dummy half. Last tackle. Here is Roberts. Kick from inside the 40. Right in the middle of the field. Elliott tracking across. Will end up with it. George Tafua back there with him. The fullback will bring it back. And it's a big, big hole. The home side have got themselves in now. There is still time, though. 14 down. We've seen some tremendous comebacks already this season. And a penalty right there will help the cause.
Yeah, it's a relieving one. We'll see Stockwell, the man who's given away the penalty on Brendan Elliott. And the Manly forwards were in disarray. They were walking back. It was Groundhog Day. They are just turning them around, the Titans, with Tyrone Roberts' kicking game. And a relieving penalty now, and Fanua Blake up towards the halfway line.
Fainu from dummy half. Comes to Marty Tapau to work it across. They've been strong through the middle. Not so much damage, but tries haven't been coming since they scored the first 2 of the game. Fainu twisted to the ground there, and a tackle by Stockwell. Had him pinned. Trbojevic has to wait for a wide, flat pass. Play number 5 here. Fainu again. Cust at the line, taking Thompson with him. Taylor under pressure there. Quick play the ball. Cust goes short side. Parker! Too quick! They just had too much speed in the play the ball, and then Parker had a nose for where the space was. They're back in it.
Well, if you're a young half watching at home, this is a lovely sequence. By that I mean 3 plays in a row. They set it up brilliantly. They played nice and short and direct. Gus went to the line. Joel Thompson, he did his job and got a quick play the ball. Now, in principle, it's hard to get defenders across to that short side. That's exactly where they went. Gus knew it. He went from dummy half, and Parker, what an underrated player he is.
They've tried to finesse their way too often, the Seagulls, this evening, trying to play the forwards ball, playing particularly Jake Trbojevic, trying to go on the outside of the Titans. They've looked their best when they're playing through the centre of the ruck. They built momentum, as you touched on, Gaz. Fainu had a terrific run out of dummy half on the back of the Tapau carry. Then they went nice and short with Cust, who isolated Ash Taylor. And you touched on the speed of the play of the ball. They just couldn't adjust. And great vision from the young Manly 5'8". And you're right, Woz, we've got a game now. They're back in it.
All these kicks will be important for Ruben Garrick. 10 in from touch. So under 15 minutes remaining, the kick's a beauty. It makes it 26-18 here at Lottoland. Well, there aren't too many Titans fans on hand here tonight. Those watching on the Gold Coast and other parts along the eastern seaboard. We're hoping their team can hang on for win number 3, but Manly, with the crowd baying behind them, will be hard to stop from here.
It's a sign of a really great half. He's one that just thinks ahead and sets up the next play. He's thinking not only about the play which he's executing at the moment, but it's the one after and the one after that. Andrew Johns was spectacular at it, especially throughout the Origin period. But this Cust, he's got great ability, he's got great vision, and he's very smart. I think he's got a very bright future in the NRL.
And tough. Darnay Cherry Evans. Oh, he returns. His next game will be Origin 1. Cherry Evans. There's a strong carry from Gajewski. Good defence as well. Cust again. Good pass. Parker gives it to Fuller. Fends away there from Arthurs. And just like that, on 3 plays, they're back on the attack. The crowd right into this contest now as well. They are a factor. Not a great ball from Parker to Cust. Will hurt some on this next play, although Marty Tapau gets those legs pumping before 4 of them wrap him up there. 40 out. From the Gold Coast line, it goes to Fanua Blake. Good effort by Elliott. Fends away from Roberts. Got away from Cartwright also before Brimson grabbed him by the collar. Last tackle inside the red zone. It goes across to Welgie, who puts it in the air. Parker is out there, but so is the Don.
Safe as a house, Don. That was a big play because it was a beautiful kick from LG and a really good set of 6 from the Gold Coast Titans. Sorry, from the Manly Seagulls in attack. Great defence there from Don over in that wing. This take was very important.
Up there above them. On the stairway to heaven, Anthony Don comes down with a big catch. An important time for the Gold Coast as Roberts throws a dummy. He's away. Dale Copley looking for try number 4 in a race now with Garrick, who drags him down from behind. 15 metres out. What a run by Roberts. Goes to the middle. They keep it alive. Hipgrave for the line. Cut down there by Marty Tapau. He lost the ball as well, Hipgrave. And Manly might have just hung on.
Well, there was a yawning gap through the middle. Marty Tapau, he adjusted late. He struggled to get back into the line. They saw that. Hipgrave pushed into the hole and he reacted late, Marty Tapau. I just wonder, in desperation, swinging the arm, did he get Hipgrave in the head? But he saved a certain try.
Yes, mate.
Lovely show and go from Roberts. They had great line speed, Manly, but that show and go, he just went straight through. Here's big Tapau in desperation, just a little clip on the noggin.
The ball comes free, and we'll wait and see what the referees make of it all. Some heated chat here, and Joel Thompson saying, there it is. Up there, take a look at it.
I hope he's not pointing to the scoreboard. It's going to be a knock on.
Hendo, I've got the scrum.
That is the call. As they form the scrum, bad news for the Titans is
It's a scrum.
it'll be
Let's go.
a knock on. No.
He's got to leave the field, doesn't he? He was motionless there for a minute on the ground.
Seconds not come together.
I mean,
He looked like a flathead on the pier, having just been hauled out of the water for a moment there.
there's some real feeling. Fanua Blake trading words.
Time
with
off, guys. We've got a head
a
assessment.
number of the Titans players. So
Here we go.
Joel Thompson.
Here it is, Mick.
So the trainer comes out and grabs Keegan Hipgrave and says, Keegan, you've got to come for an HIA. So that will be the end of the game for Keegan Hipgrave with 12.5 minutes remaining, you'd imagine.
Not a too bad a thing, no disrespect to Hipgrave, but Fodawaker makes his way back on the field, and geez, he's been amazing over this last month.
He's been good. He had a huge first half, well in excess of 100 metres. You're right, Gaz, he's been very strong for the Titans when given the opportunity.
Wait here, wait, Ryan, wait, let's out, wait.
Out.
Manly with the scrum. Tyrone Roberts was very close to putting this one to bed.
Well, that decision there just keeps Manly in the game.
Gashevsky appealing for a penalty, getting no joy, and now it's a Powell to that left-hand side. They'll play it here. Meters hard to come by so far in this set. Midway through it, Coruscant from dummy half. Slow play the ball again for Fanua Blake, who gets held up effectively by Fodawaker, who is back out there now for Hipgrave. Gashevsky will play it back at the halfway line. LG puts it in the air. Rain dropped off on the pressure. Brimson coming forward, leaves the ground to make the catch. That was clever by the fullback, and he'll play it here just outside the Gold Coast 30.
I don't understand whether it's a tactic or not, the Sydney, but their long kicking game, their kicks haven't gone in excess of 30 metres at times. It's bizarre. That was a poor kick from LG.
Fodawaker playing it almost back at the halfway line.
Good shot.
Whitbread hit down a solid tackle. It was no surprise that Travojevic was involved, along with Fanua Blake. Now Wallace running at Gashevsky. Good offload. Brimson pushing up in support. He's a real factor now at the back end of this game through the middle on offloads like that. Roberts at the line, trying to take it out of play. It's still there, bouncing around. A chance for the Gold Coast, and Bryce Cartwright cleans it up, and it looks like he has scored.
Elliott's blowing
Tackle
up.
6. Got try, mate. Check there's nothing in the lead up to the contest. Thanks, mate.
And that's why he's blowing up. He thinks he got taken out, but it was probably in a contest for the ball. Roberts does well. He just tries to put it into touch to bite his team some time. Goes off Dylan Walker. Roberts gets the boot to it. And he can't do anything about that, Roberts.
Tyrone Roberts and Brendan Elliott's play onto the stage. Clean pickup from Bryce Cartwright.
And that'll be a try.
And he grounds the ball in the end goal. We have a decision.
He's been a handful tonight, Bryce Cartwright, with every opportunity, particularly down this left-hand side. He's caused Kane LG plenty of headaches as he's run the ball, and great anticipation there from the big edge back row as the Titans now awarded the try and extend their lead out to 30 points to 18. And they've got a response tonight. Garth Brennan has got a response by bringing Tyrone Peachey and Bryce Cartwright off the interchange bench. Nice kick there into the back of Dylan Walker, and he's given himself every opportunity. He's been everything tonight, Roberts.
Second most points they've scored in the game this season, the Gold Coast, and didn't they need a performance something like this after all the talk about the story of Mal Meninga conducting the review and Garth Brennan being under pressure? And he said, Garth, I don't lie awake worrying about my tenure or my job. I lie awake worrying about how I can turn this team around and how to start playing some good footy. Well, they have found some good footy here tonight. Taylor swings it between the uprights once again at 32 points to 18. It's back out to a 14-point lead with just under 10 minutes remaining.
Yeah, early on they showed a lot of energy, the Titans, but they didn't get much reward for it. But, I mean, you've got to give them credit for showing a lot of resilience as Desi watches on. And Desi, mind you, before the game was really concerned. Off air, off camera, he said to me, I'm really concerned about this game. I'm hoping we haven't under-prepared for the Gold Coast Titans. We don't know what to expect. And yes, we have been travelling well with the Manly Seagulls, but it's a real danger game for us. He was worried about this happening, and it has happened right in front of him.
Oh, Parker had a chance there. Second grab at it. It went forward, though, off his hands to Marty Tapau. It was a lovely short restart. He was so close to taking it on the gallop. If he pulls it down there, he runs another 20 or so metres, and who knows what happens from there for Manly. Plea all you'd like, Brad, but no doubt that one went forward.
Make sure your adlet's out, fellas. Hold there, Jake.
Near
Seconds lock, Hobbit, thanks.
short kickoff.
Ben, thanks, Marty.
Knights and the Roosters warming up as we speak at McDonald Jones Stadium. That will be a beauty tonight. One at Mitchell Pearce,
Yes.
Kalen Ponga, and their form keep the Knights firing. The Roosters bounce back after going down to the Broncos last week. So much to look for in that game. So many storylines. Origin around the corner.
Can't wait, was.
Who puts their hand up? That's right after this one. Live on Fox League. The Titans working down within 30. The ball comes free from Whitbread. And then Ian Fanua-Blake got a little bit jiggy with it. He's never too far away from the action. If there's a bit of a flare-up, is he, Adam Fanua-Blake? 8 minutes remaining. Can't put the 2 points in the column for the Titans just yet. That's a tough call against Whitbread.
Fanua-Blake was all over him. Had his hand on his head, and there he go. There's another one.
He treads a fine line at times, doesn't he?
Very loose unit.
As you mentioned
I wouldn't mess with him.
earlier in the game, no?
No, stay well away from him.
Cost him a couple of weeks suspension earlier in the season, though. Trbojevic has it here, 40 metres out. And to give themselves a chance, this possession is pivotal right here. Cust for Parker, juggles it, loses it. Whitbread has it, and perhaps he'll hit the final laugh here tonight. Looks promising again down that left-hand side, but a tough ball for Parker to hang on to at almost point-blank range. Good. Peachy looking after things from dummy half for Rain as he scampers across the field. The former Dragon. Nice cartwheel. Trying to make it very tough for Manly. Just back some 3 minutes ago. Brimson has been tremendous again in the fullback role tonight. Such an entertainer, and he plays the game with so much energy and joy. Just great to watch. Rain from dummy half. Goes to Cartwright. At the line, Peachy steps away from Cust, who is jamming in. Peachy couldn't find his way into the backfield. And it'll take some time here to play it. On the last, Roberts will put it up. Mixed first half of his kicking, but his second half has been tremendous. And here he is getting the result once again. Showing it, he'll score! He grabs his second of the night.
Sorry, mate.
If they do get the green lights here, that will put this one away.
Got to try, H. Confers that there's no touch in the contest, please, mate.
He's been an absolute standout tonight,
Left side
Tyrone
kick
Roberts.
to Titans is onside.
From the very beginning, he has taken control of his side, and this is a beautiful kick again. Kelly gets up, who again has had a strong performance for the
It's all
Titans.
backwards from the
it back.
Titans, so it's playing at this stage.
It is play on, all right. And coming through, who else? The little crafty number 6 who's
Clean pick up from Tyrone Roberts.
got a lot of speed, but a great show and go. Watch this, left foot step, show and go. Garrick, see you later, buddy. That's his second try of the night, and he's just been too good.
And he
He's
grounds
been
the ball
too
in the
good.
end goal. We have a decision.
It is a concern for Manly too. They concede more tries off kicks than anyone else in the competition. And generally it's just based on a lot of effort. You saw there, you can't predict where a bounce is going to go, but you generally try and get as many bodies as you can within the picture to cover that.
It doesn't take much to get beat in this competition. You've only got to be off by 5 or 10%. And tonight, the Manly Seagulls just haven't lacked that power and that intent and that resolve that Des Hasler has built into this side, that belief. And tonight, led by that man, Tyrone Roberts, the little number 6, and on the back of a strong performance from the likes of Wallace and Fodawaker, he's done some damage, and it's been an inspiring win from that man, Tyrone Roberts. 5-star performance, really.
Yeah, it has. 2
Take
tries,
control.
2 try assists, Mick, and I think with the Manly Seagulls, it's kind of like you've been waiting for a performance like this because they've overachieved, but not the best tick there, but they've overachieved a little. And with the squad that they've had, they've been enormous throughout 2019, but they've got to be at their best every week because of that. And tonight, they've been far from it.
I think sides have probably underestimated them, Braith, to be fair. And now, given what they've been able to do in that opening 10 rounds, then I think the Titans have come here tonight prepared. And the Seagulls have had a week off. And the good sides, you can't have a week off.
Time you run, fellas. Stay behind, wait for it.
36-18. After full time, we'll take you north to Newcastle. Knights v Roosters is next. Right here. Don't change the channel. Wallace makes the catch himself off the kickoff and brings it back out. Win number 3 for the Gold Coast Titans. Comes up here at Brookvale, and their record here, despite not having played here that many times in the last decade, is a pretty good one. So they come to this right-hand side. Taylor from the inside for Whitbread. Tackled there by Fanua Blake, and again Fanua Blake, little effort after the tackle, just drags him to the ground beyond the play of the ball. But Whitbread will be smiling, and the siren sounds in just under 5 minutes time. Short ball there from Cartwright. This left-hand side for Kelly. Been flat at best. Come back to Roberts again to do the kicking and find that space in between them. Garrick left it for Elliott. They'll work it away.
Staggering, absolutely staggering. They've only had 5 tackles all game down on the Titans try line. It has just been, as I said before, Groundhog Day, where they're just rolling through the Manly defence, and Roberts kicks downfield. He's found grass a lot of times tonight with his kicks. Stafua slow to his feet, slow to play the ball. The Manly just had no attacking opportunity whatsoever this evening. It's been a spirited performance from the Gold Coast.
Thompson playing as Coruscant comes back to Travojevic. Offload there, standing up in the middle of the field amongst the tacklers, including Fodawaker and also Cartwright. Kick from Coruscant out of dummy half. And send Brimson racing back to his own 10. Skip, but a jump as he comes to them and pokes his nose through the line. The Gold Coast, when they were here last year, back in round 23, racked up 42 points. And here they are again tonight, 36. I'm coming to this venue. It was a high-scoring game last year. 76 points scored in total. A 42-34 win for the Gold Coast. The fortunes have changed for Manly, but this feels a bit more like last year here tonight, albeit without Daly Cherry-Evans, who will be good to go for Queensland in Origin 1 if selected. In Origin, they'll be in the 17. Spoke to him on the way to the ground tonight. He's very confident he'll be okay with that ankle problem he's had that's kept him out of action since the game against the Raiders. Tom Travojevic getting closer by the game to returning for the Seagulls also. So better times around the corner for Manly, having done all they've done so far, but this will be a loss to have them contemplating what went wrong here tonight during the week.
Yeah, apart from tonight, I mean, they've laid a great foundation, the Manly Seagulls, for when those 2 players do come back into the side. Fodawaker, I mean, look at this. 20 runs, 193 metres. Gaz, you spoke about him in the pre-game. He's been a revelation for the Titans this year, and he's backed it up tonight, hasn't he?
Exact same numbers from last week too. He's consistent.
It was important. I said it in the pre-game break that they attacked the head of the snake, and the strike for the Manly Seagulls has been through Fanua Blake, it's been through Tapau, and then the damage done between Coruscant and Fainu out of dummy half in the early stages of the season. And tonight the Titans have hunted as a pack. Their big men have hunted, and they've caused them all sorts of problems and have suffocated the Seagulls. They've had no opportunity to attack whatsoever.
And their bench has been brilliant too, Mick. I think Cartwright, Peachy, Boyd and Stockwell off the bench have been a real highlight, and they've made a massive impact.
You mentioned despite missing Jai Arrows, there's a mistake here from Manly with the Titans who get the last crack at them as Coruscant lost it there in the tackle. Yeah, despite missing Arrow, of course, they still have so much depth Max King didn't get a chance tonight. Will Matthews looking for a game in 2019 also. A little cuff around the jaw there from Fodawaker didn't help the cause of Apisai Coruscant. Won't matter much at this point of the game, though. While it wasn't a big crowd, it's got even smaller. In the last 5 or so minutes, there's plenty of locals have decided maybe Chinese takeaway is in order.
Just bend your back, mate. Just bend your back, Garrick. You too, mate. Hold it there. Hold it.
I'll watch the outside.
Ball.
Tat with the scrum feed. What have they got? One last possession here, the Gold Coast. More for their smattering of fans. Enjoy this game. This result. Win number 3. Copley with a hat-trick on this left-hand side. Tyrone Roberts with the ball in his hands there. Double also tonight. 4th of his NRL career. He'll be a proud man as well. Coming out with a big performance in Indigenous round. He has really stood tall here against the Seagulls tonight. And the Lucky Cliff Lions jerseys just haven't worked out for Manly here in Indigenous round as Roberts puts a kick in behind them. Chasing through, it'll beat everybody beyond the dead ball line. A big, big win. And a timely one as well for the Gold Coast Titans with the dogs barking. I want to silence the dogs for the moment as the Gold Coast have beaten Manly at Brookvale 36 points to 18.